So I'm just going to talk about obviously how the paper industry and the stationery is evolving and transforming to basically harnessing towards sustainability and driving AI to bring that innovation, right? And obviously, this is more skewed towards the market growth and how you can actually potentially increase your B2C, B2B, and B2G interactions and growth as well. I don't know if anyone of here knows. I'm sure you probably all heard of B2C, B2B. Have anyone heard of B2G or anyone in the crowd? No? Okay. So B2C, like business to customers, B2B is business to business, and B2G is business to government as well. So when it comes to AI, sustainability, and driving market growth, I think that's a new term that we've come up with when it comes to B2G. Okay. So welcome again. And yeah, just to talk about myself real quickly. So I've been in the industry for almost 16 years now as a digital marketing growth hacking professional. I've been transforming many brands and their visibility and pretty much hacking growth in sense of building new income streams to them and understanding their audiences and customers and TG. And not just only restricting ourselves to the traditional marketing, but also looking and make pathways to evolve how, I don't know if you've all noticed with the advertising industry, how quickly it's evolved since the 1900s till now. Like, if you look at the evolution, it's huge, it's humongous. You would never expect now to actually have handheld phone devices and seeing advertising here. So, yeah. But that doesn't mean from a paper and stationery point of view, the paper or stationery world is depleting. No, we just have to adapt with the technology, even though we are going digital and virtual. So that's pretty much what I'm going to talk about here. Now, the agenda of today's focus, where, I'm going to talk about is the trends in the paper and stationery industry, the sustainability movement, and when it comes to market perspectives as well, and how AI is driving those innovations. By the end of the session, you will gain a practical insight on how to leverage these trends and enhance your customer and business relationships, really, and scale that growth. Also, I'll talk about streamlining operations as well, where you can use AI, basically make efficient and more efficacious decisions. Now, when it comes to the trends, when it comes to e-commerce and digitalization now, we're ushering into a new era where they're shifting, from traditionally going into a shop. You'll probably have to buy a ticket for a public transport like a bus or a train, or you might have to go catch an Uber, or, many people are we're seeing this trend where people want to make those decisions virtually. Still, like for me, myself, if I want to buy like a sofa or a chair or something, I would want to go and feel the texture myself, So probably you could call me traditional, but many of our decisions, day-to-day things, we are buying and purchasing them virtually, So there is a shift that we've seen in the past couple of years as well. And from COVID time onwards, that has really significantly picked up. And for you to drive that sale, I think it's very important to take personalization into context, because, I could be marketing, I could be advertising to people just randomly. If there's no personalization, no customization there, that ad space is going for waste, really. So what we need to obviously drill down to is making sure that we give personalized experiences and we can custom made those products as well. And that's where the innovation is going towards, even from a paper and stationery trend aspect as well. Now, adapting to those digital demands, like there are brands who've invested in this comprehensive e-commerce strategies with myself, and obviously with the how the web and app aspects have developed and evolved, we've seen there's been a 30% increase in sales and higher customer retention as well, versus an offline pace and advertising. So the key takeaway here is that the digital first mindset is not about just staying competitive. No, it's about the future proofing for your business. So what I mean by that here is future proofing your business. Anyone knows an example of any company who weren't future-proofing and then they got depleted? No one knows about them anymore. Or probably you do now. You probably read in your textbooks and case studies. Anyone? Okay, I would quote Blockbuster, for example. You guys heard of Blockbuster, right? Yeah. I remember I was speaking to, my cousins who are still quite little. They never heard of Blockbuster. Only the people before, in our age and before us, they know Blockbuster because we've been, renting movies and renting episodes to watch, and catch up on those things. Now everything is available virtually. So this is like one of those classic examples where they weren't future-proofing, and eventually now the alpha generation who are coming in, they actually never heard of, or they don't know what Blockbuster is. So yeah, now everyone knows Netflix and all, and all the VOD platforms out there. Don't worry, Netflix is not paying me for promoting them. So, okay. So enhancing your online presence now, with regards to digital tactics for gaining success in your business, I've actually listed down here mobile optimization, personalized shopping experience, and efficient fulfillment. Now, what I mean by that is I'm going to go through, with over 70% of customers today are browsing on your phone. Yeah, this is from a global statistic, right? When it comes to, everyday engaging, I can't really sleep at night unless I've actually, checked my text or checked my status or WhatsApp over my phone. But, we've gotten so drilled and so addicted to these devices now. So when we have to understand the audience, the customer segments, who we are targeting, we need to understand that whatever decisions or growth or success that they will want to drive is always mobile optimized, correct? Now, personalized shopping experiences, I know I touched base on this earlier before, but with regards to personalized experiences, you can actually use AI and AI assistants to help you to drive that growth. Now, with what we've seen with many brands, when they've adapted these features on AI driving recommendations to personalize their campaign structure and target their audiences, they've seen a higher conversion rate of up to 26% as well. And later on in this presentation, I'm going to talk about one case study, a European client of mine as well, who've successfully used AI assistance and AI technologies, and they've bedrock sustainability as part of their code of conduct as well, and they've driven growth too. With regards to efficient fulfillment, now this is important because as a human being, we're prone to make mistakes, right? And whatever instructions that we give to a computer, they are a robot, they would do that same task 1,000 times, but they wouldn't end up making a mistake. However, for me, if I keep repeating a word, even 100 times, I might actually make a mistake in its pronunciation as well, or I might not even address it. Yeah. So there are limitations when it comes to being human, but that doesn't mean we have to take away the emotion aspect from the human and the decision-making process here. However, when we are making those efficient fulfillments, there are many e-commerce businesses, stationery, and paper industries, including, the classic example is Amazon, for instance. If you go and check out their warehouses, you'll see how they've used AI and AI assistance, and computer technology to actually make those fulfillments more efficient. Yeah, and this actually drives today's more quick, response time. So, for example, most of our social media handles, most of our chat box, these are all AI driven. They're all automated. So I think that's the scope that we have to look into, is to enhance customer experience without negating the human element, but giving AI the opportunity to be the contact first, to drive that retention and loyalty, and then we can actually build on that further on. Because what we have to understand is growth doesn't come from, taking all of your energy and time, assisting one or two customers alone. Rather, to go on a scale where you have a volume of customers, you're able to cater all of their needs simultaneously, but then not compromising on quality. Yeah. So the data insight here is that enhanced digital experiences have driven up to like 40% higher customer satisfaction and loyalty and retention as well. Now, the rise of sustainability, we've heard this word sustainability quite a lot these days, right? So sustainability these days, it's what I keep telling every client and business. You have to make it a bedrock of your company, right? As part of your code of conduct and ethics and values. And, sustainability is important because we don't have to think short term. We always have to think long term, because many a times we look at short term goals, we end up making decisions that, aren't fruitful enough, even for our next generation as well. For instance, like plastic, that was one of those turning points when we realized, this is where we have to be more sustainable, when the marine life and all, and the natural ecosystem was getting disturbed. So this is where sustainability from that point of view is important. However, from a business point of view, I think many of the people are going into a demand where they want to go for green products, right? And the new generation, they're very into green. I remember I was speaking to my 8-year-old son. He was like, I gave him a straw. He's like, do you have a paper straw? I want to use a paper straw, not a, so it's like the way, the curriculum is built on these days, and how the minds are being trained even from a young age. These are crucial things which are important that we have to, seek through it and understand, because, the baby boomers, the Generation Z, the Generation X, we've, been through our time, now the new generation will come in. There's going to be Generation Alpha, Beta, Neo, I don't know what. There's many generations to conquer tomorrow's world. And we have to think sustainability and green in that perspective. So, as I mentioned, a customer in the Middle East today and worldwide is willing to pay a premium price for an eco-friendly product. This is insane. And this is actually true. We wouldn't want to compromise on quality. We wouldn't want to compromise on sustainability, the customer of today. Yeah. And moving on, we have sustainable materials and designs, from recycled paper to biodegradable packaging. We've seen businesses who've incorporated these changes and brought those innovations in their products. They've seen as much as 20% growth in their sales in just the first quarter itself, which is huge for any MNC or even a small, medium enterprise there as well. And I think what all customers today, whether they're business customers, they're the end users, or they're the government, they prefer brands who are transparent, sustainable, and they actually are fair when it comes to dealing with, mentioning all the benefits and the ethic and codes that they follow and values they follow. So the key takeaway is that embracing sustainability isn't just about a one-off campaign. Like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to try to catch and compete with my competitors who are also going to the same brand message, like we're sustainable, we're this, blah, 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 or whatsoever. But rather, we should take it as a core value. We should introduce, and since it resonates with today's customers. Sorry, I've been moving too fast here, but I would give you guys opportunity to ask me more questions towards the end of this session. But if you do have any questions, you can raise your hands and let me know. Yeah? Okay. So, implementing sustainability in your operations today. Now, what I mean by that exactly is that when you have eco-friendly product, range and packaging, as well as, so for instance, I remember there was this company, they were using all of their parts as well, not just the packaging that they're sending off to their customers, and they're selling their products in. So, for example, like imagine this is a paper product, yeah? Don't think of it as a glass for now. So what they're trying to do is not just only trying to sell a product which is made out of sustainable packaging, but rather the equipment and the machinery that they're using. Although I do understand the points when it comes from the parts, because in today's world, we look at printers, right? Printers, they have cartridges, yeah? And many of the parts within the printers or the machines that we use today, what happens to those parts? They get dumped off in the dump yard. There are very less few people who actually end up recycling those printer cartridges or so. Most of the time, what happens? They go into the bin, they go into the waste, and they pollute the environment and the planet. So this is what I'm trying to get at is a lot of the companies today, they're moving towards sustainability and eco-friendly, not just from a consumer point of view, but rather when it comes to their machinery, the parts that they use as well. They're trying to come up with solutions where even if they have to discard any cartridges or any parts within their machinery itself, those are biodegradable as well or recyclable too. Yeah. So this is when it comes to bedrocking the sustainability, eco-friendly aspect and going green, shouldn't be just to please the customer. Rather, it has to be more of a value that you adapt and you run with it. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna. There are companies out there who have used AI, as I mentioned earlier, AI assistance, AI-driven analytics to reduce wastage and reduce the production costs as well. And there are companies who've reduced up to like 12% on production costs as well and wastage too. So the key takeaway here is that start small with the feasible change, okay, and build up your sustainability efforts to maximize the impact. I know this is a gradual process and people might take a long time for it to adapt. It is there, it is coming. And if we actually negate these aspects, the tomorrow's generation will come in and start questioning as to why were these equipments, products, and services provided, they weren't sustainable or eco-friendly. So understanding your regional trends from the Middle East, just a raise of hands real quickly, I wanted to gauge on how many people here are from Dubai or UAE. Okay, 1 person, 2 person. So most of you are from, overseas. Okay, that's great. So if I may ask, perhaps, yes. So you've been in Dubai today. Is this your first visit or you've been here before? You've been first visit. Oh, wow, nice. Where are you from?
I live in Dubai, but I'm from the Philippines.
Okay, and you're saying it's your first time?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. What I wanted to understand was, when you compare Philippines or the South Pacific region versus the Middle East, when it comes to sustainable values or going green or eco-friendly, what do you suggest? Is Middle East more adaptive to it?
I can say yes, 100%.
Compared to APAC?
I don't want to be biased or anything.
No. For me, okay.
I can say that coming from a small country like the Philippines, we do our best to be eco-friendly and to lean forwards in green products.
Yeah.
But the trend is growing. I've not been there for 5 years,
yeah.
But I can say that it's coping up. But Dubai is more fast-paced with regards to...
Okay, great. Would you be surprised to know, actually, when you constitute APAC, Australia, New Zealand, and Europe, the funny thing is that Middle East is still far behind when it comes to adapting to eco-friendly sustainability aspects. And, I've been to Japan, to Korea, to Malaysia, even Thailand, Bangkok, Australia, New Zealand, and I've explored that region and in Europe as well. I've studied in the UK, spent most of my life in the UK, and then I've been going around across Europe as well. But when I see the part of sustainability aspects, not just from a consumer point of view, but from a business point of view, the values a lot of the companies, take and they use, I think there is still a lot of improvement that could be made and done in the Middle East itself. I know we are moving towards that direction, and which is commendable. In the span of time that the Middle East has evolved into sustainability, to going green, and to use eco-friendly products, I think that's more fast-paced compared to APAC or Australia, New Zealand, or even Europe. However, they're far ahead of Middle East still today because they had time. They started sooner rather later. Yeah, although Dubai market itself and the Middle East, they've tried to catch up in a very short span of time. But this is what I'm trying to get at. Everything is all about starting today. If you make up your mind, start today, that's when you can, see yourself in the next 3, 4, 5 years where you are, So you won't have to, start catching up with your competitors or with other trends which are going to evolve in the near future. You have to start today. Now, with regards to post-pandemic recovery in the region itself, it has spurred a demand in surge in office and school supplies. Now, before, I remember when I was in high school, our school supplies, all of my notebooks used to be in a locker. I don't know if you all guys remember, there used to be lockers. In the schools and colleges, we used to get assigned lockers and we used to just stuff everything in there. Today, most of those things, because there's this trend about work from home, study from home, even homeschooling and all that, there's a lot of material that we end up storing in our home. Yeah. So we have to come up with solutions which are sustainable. Yeah. And which we've seen is like when we see that growth, there's been a 6 to 8% annual growth and surge in office and school supplies still. Yeah. Now, the financial considerations as the region embraces those digital transformations, yeah, and companies are leveraging those and using AI to drive value and sustainability. I think what's important is that we take away from today that don't look at the financial considerations from a short term, but from a long-term impact. To adapting to a new culture, to a new value, might seem like a heavy burden, a heavy cost to bear today itself. Yeah, we have to come up with a mindset. No, I'm investing in my future. That's how we should, look into. So the key takeaway is aligning with the regional preferences. I know I mentioned many regions, including the Middle East, like luxury and eco-conscious products, positions your brand to thrive in that evolving market. Yeah, and we have to go with the flow, how the region is moving forward too. I know there's a lot of visions which are out there, the 2030 vision and others, where the government is also getting hugely involved in making sure that many corporations, whether SMEs or MNCs, they all adapt into a more sustainable and eco-friendly and green manner. Innovation through AI. I know you've been hearing the word AI quite a lot in this summit and many other summits as well. Yeah, but I think many of the people, even till today, we've used only AI up to the mark. We're just simply using it on ChatGPT or other AI tools and platforms which are out there for our personal use or business use. But when it comes to AI to do your consumer insights, I haven't seen many businesses and brands adapting to that. I think they're still scared as to, they want to be the decision makers here as human, which is quite frankly true. I don't want to let an AI take over all the analytics and studying all the big data and numbers. But the way AI can help you is to take loads and big amount of data and give you the samples or give you takeaways from which you can actually make decisions to make your life easier. You wouldn't be crunching numbers all day in your office or, on ground, basically. So this is where, there are brands out there who have adapted AI and they've achieved a 40% higher engagement and more personalized experience from their customers as well, to understanding their preferences and future needs as well. When it comes to supply chain automation, like I gave you the example of Amazon and other companies out there, they've even AI-driven supply chains to improve efficiency as well and reduce costs and ensure the timely deliveries are there. And whichever companies who have used these AI automations, they've seen a cost reduction and an improvement by 18%. Now, AI in product customization. We as a person, when I want to customize my product, I would customize based on my preferences, my needs. However, if you allow the AI to study your customers' needs and behaviors, it would come up with a more, what do you call, I would say, biased view, less biased, okay? Where they would actually plan and put decisions across how you should design your product. And they would give you suggestions as well, like these are the products, the designs that your customers prefers, rather than me personally. We all adore cars, motorbikes, and automobiles. We all have different preferences. And we see so many brands today who have different designs, and we always want to go for the new design and optimize towards that. And that is something the AI can help us deliver. Now, the key takeaway here is that the AI-driven approach empowers brands to be more efficient, predictive, adaptable, and creating value across the entire supply chain. So when I would say supply chain, yes, gentlemen, what do you understand by supply chain in this example? Starting from where to where? Sorry?
To the end user.
Exactly, yeah. From the manufacturing stage or the planning stage towards the end user. However, I've actually gone away with to the end user. You can actually evolve there as well. You can actually do, surveys, and also do repeat marketing as well, and let the AI take over to have that retention and loyalty in place as well. Now, just to go through that case study here, as I mentioned about the sustainability, retention point of view, the loyalty aspects as well, and how AI assistants have helped transform the industry today. One of my European clients that specializes in stationery and work econometrics harnessed AI to forecast market trends and understand, predictive customer behaviors and preferences, which enabled them to introduce a line of personalized, eco-friendly, customizable planners and products and self-service AI assistants as well. This led to a 24% increase in their revenue in just a matter of 6 months. So imagine, many of us today, we feel, okay, what's the ROI that I'm going to get? If I'm going to put in that money today, what sort of ROI I can reap on it? So this is just to give you a general idea. You can look into your P&L, your numbers, your balance sheets, and address that concern, where there are businesses out there who are making returns on it. Now, you have to today walk away with the fact that, okay, this is the amount of money that I can pull into research and technology and to make optimization and developments. How much return can I expect in the forthcoming months or years or so, whatever? Yeah. So the key takeaway is that using AI to understand the market shifts and consumer need drives that consumer needs not only sales, but the growth aspect as well, and also brings a stronger brand value and loyalty and retention amongst customers. And customers, they start trusting you as well when they see that, all these investments are being made. So from a customer point of view, think of it this way. If I know there's a company who's, invested millions of dollars in developing something, that means I can trust this company. They've, done their homework, they've done their research. Only then this product has been introduced and launched, to me, right? So this actually builds that trust aspect as well. Now, with regards to, I don't know if I wanted to understand, I spoke about churn rate earlier. I'm probably going to pick someone from the crowd to address you, ma'am, sorry. Do you know what churn rate stands for? Or churn rate? So a churn rate is basically when you have customers dropping off, So when you're not able to retain them, or you're unable to drive loyalty. So you have to obviously understand your churn rate, and make sure you drop that churn rate significantly so that that customer becomes a repeat customer moving forward. Yeah. Now, the practical AI solutions for your business. Yeah. Implementing, we've spoken about studying customer analytics. We've talked about product development. We've talked about the reduction in the cost when you adapt it towards your supply chain to drive efficiency. So the key takeaway here is that like the practical AI solutions can transform your daily operations, reduce costs, and create a better customer experience, and these are setting the stage for the long-term growth. As I keep mentioning, we have to go, move away from the short-term wins and short-term gains, rather going towards long-term. Now, the road ahead. How does the road ahead from here look like for paper and stationery world, and the key takeaways from this? Yeah, so you adapt to digitalization, where e-commerce is transforming the customer experiences and expectations as well. And businesses, must adapt to this to stay relevant amongst the customers. And when it comes to commit to sustainability, I urge every one of my clients and brands, it's not an option anymore. No, we're not left with an option. Oh, sustainability, I'll probably, address it another or next year. No, it has to be today. You have to make it a necessity to introduce that as a value, as a core value of your company. And leveraging AI. So leveraging AI when it comes to product designs, to your supply chain, as well as to, speaking to your customers as well, how you interact with your customers. The AI chatbots and assistants can help you drive those personalized experiences and efficiencies as well. And when it comes to capitalize on regional opportunities, like the Middle East market, for example, there's a lot of room to grow here. There are markets out there, which I mentioned earlier, who've matured in that aspect, but Middle East is still growing. And we see so many new things which are coming up and developing, like Neom and the Line, and even the New Creek developments are happening in Qatar, in Oman. So obviously, what's important is that we look at how our region is reacting towards the sustainability aspects and AI, and we transform ourselves as well to address those local preferences. So the key takeaway is combining digital, combining sustainability, combining AI, you can actually position your business to meet and exceed those demands in tomorrow's market growth. You can even predict what customers are looking towards. You can predict evolutions as well. You can predict what sort of new products or lines are going to come and move forward to address customer problems. Whenever we're designing a product, what's the first thing that we're looking at too? Yeah? Anyone? We're looking into the problem, whether this product or this product design is resolving my problem or not. So I think the moving forward here is that whenever you look at a problem, don't just leave it aside. Okay, I'm going to deal with it tomorrow. It's always good to deal with it today and resolve it. So the conclusion is shaping the future of the stationery world with us is when it comes to sustainability aspects, AI, digital. I know these terms sound very fancy. Yeah. Even I remember my father, when he first heard of AI, so he's retired from the United Nations. Yeah, he's a retired pilot and all. When it came to him learning about these words, even he was very susceptible to change. He was like, he's probably seen a lot of Terminator movies, maybe back in his time. But this is where then later when he dug into it, he researched about it. He went through journals, he went through articles, he went through what experts had to say about it, that how AI is driving those solutions, how sustainability and those practices are actually creating impact in the longer term.
Actually finishing.
Cool. Right. So thank you everyone for being here with me. If you wish to connect with me, you can scan the QR code and enjoy the rest of the day at Paperworld Middle East. Thank you.